Jewish exceptionalism? I don't know, man.
But with Pam Bondi, I mean, these conservatives...
Mods, hecking cancel him, mods.
Megyn Kelly, I mean, even Tucker Carlson talking about this. Charlie Kirk had a post on X, and he said, even if Republicans were on the list, would you be okay with them being brought to justice? And overwhelmingly, the responses were yes, because people want to protect the innocence of young girls and young women, and we should all be about that.
And again, it was people within this administration promising it would be released. We'll see where this goes next.
Will this guy question his source of information now? You were supposed to be arrested and banned a year ago? Wait, that guy thought I was supposed to be arrested and banned a year ago? W censorship. What is the username? I have to see what he said in the past. What? I don't like baby BB. Surprised he hasn't found a reason to shit on Mr. Beast yet. L. Chris. What? Yeah. I was supposed to be arrested, go to prison. I was supposed to be executed. These guys are like QAnon. At a certain point, some of them are going to start fantasizing about like me already being dead and swap with like a body double. You know the way that like QAnon boomers thought that like Mike Pence was already assassinated by the deep state and replaced with like a body double, or like all these celebrities were already arrested and trapped in a facility, and the current celebrities that you saw were just like simple body doubles. Like these guys are gonna start saying that about me. They're gonna be like, "This is not the real Hassan. The real Hassan is in a FEMA facility, and this is just a simple clone." Can you flex in this Zoran shirt? It doesn't look stretchy. Here. My titties, my boobs. Let's finish this.
This is supposed to be about the most transparent administration ever.
What on earth is going on?
Ha!
Was Pam Bondi set up by deep state FBI career officials? Is she stupid? Is she so click thirsty that she got out over her skis trying to make news, being a Fox News star?
Pam Bondi, all of it. All those videos were saying, yeah, she's seen the videos. It's all coming out. And then now it doesn't exist.
Inject this compilation of all the conspiracy hungry Republicans losing their minds into my veins. This is the sound of a string quartet. Okay, this is Vivaldi in my ears. Oh, amazing!
I mean, what?
Alex Jones broadcasting from his car. Okay, so how much of a political
Yep, nobody does it like he does.
Risk is President Trump taking by dismissing the priorities of portions of the base? CNN's Aaron Blake writes, everyone has their limits. Trump's giving them reasons to be suspect about his and top administration officials' intentions. And there's been at least some evidence of a brewing.
For those of you who are wondering, like, when is Mero and Brace supposed to get here? Mero, Brace, and Eric are supposed to get here in an hour, and then we're going to hang out here a little bit, and then we're going to move on and go out to potentially the Bronx. Whatever the kid wants us today. I want to knock out a bunch of news stories that I didn't get to yesterday. So, yeah.
Backlash. Group chat is back. I have to be honest, I remember the backlash, many minutes ago over the strikes on Iran. And it feels like that's a way more significant and important issue than that. And everybody rolled.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think two things. I think
I like to do the craziest groupings of all time. Okay, Brace Belden and the kid Mero. Who would expect that? What a comp! What a comp! Oh shit, you should have Brace when you were covering this Epstein shit. I mean, we'll talk with Brace about Epstein as well, obviously.
Seen President Trump, this term and last term, be like a rain jacket. Some of these things just roll off of him. But here's the reality. I think we've all been afraid to say this. President Donald Trump is a lame duck president. And so some of these things we're talking about politically will not hurt him because he is a lame duck president about what's going to happen in 2026 with the Congress, with Senate. So I think some of these things are going to be harder for the Republican Party to talk about than this President Trump.
Look, I'll be honest. There's so many weird, bizarro, Addams Family-esque stories that people go down rabbit holes when it comes to the MAGA base. I've never read a Jeffrey Epstein story. When somebody complains they're living, I'm not going to read that ever. Also, Because Donald Trump is right. We have Texas, and we have what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. We have
Yeah, but nobody
Iran and
asked
Iraq.
Pam Bondi to make a bunch of binders to hang, you know,
That's
to
fine,
send
yeah.
to the Twitterati. It
I
feels
think
like a
I think the
self-own.
mental health of America or
Yeah.
Americans is much better off not paying attention to those crazy, shiny things.
Well, to be fair, President Trump has also set up his cabinet to be these sort of TV, Twitter.
Right?
folks.
Hire
So,
professionals.
Bro,
Yeah, exactly. Always
Bro, who is this guy, bro? Get the out of here. Who is this loser, dude? Oh, guys, stop paying attention to this, please. Hey, hey, this thing that you guys all care about, please ignore it. Please ignore the what? Blackmail, pedophilia conspiracy? Are you on the list, big dog? What kind of take is this, dude? Yo, that is wild. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Baked in.
Yeah.
I do think there are a few different stories that we're all going to look at as like litmus tests of how far can the president depart from the MAGA base or press them. I do think like a conspiracy story that President Trump's circle spent a long time fanning until he came into office, and then they had to they were the establishment and they were the government and they had to decide what information to release, is a little bit different than whether he's changing his policy on Russia v. Ukraine or on how to handle deportations of undocumented migrants who are not violent and haven't committed any crimes inside the United States. Like, I put those in two different categories. They both may be tests of the MAGA base, but one is like substantively, unless you really think there's like a triple conspiracy going on, there wasn't any there to the Epstein files, and now the sitting president's administration has to say so, as opposed to a change in U.S. posture.
We also heard one of the folks in that video talking about doing it for clicks. This whole industry is for clicks, right? So I think the question, in a way, I'm kind of asking is, you know, if you ride this certain horse into battle, like, it was to their advantage to embrace this when it ginned up interest for him in the party.
I mean, this is the worst coverage on this issue. Okay, I'm sorry. This is not just about like, oh, they rode this wave, they rode this horse into town for clicks. I mean, there's truth to it, but like, there's truth to it that the Trump administration absolutely utilized the pre-existing anger, the resentment, and the interest and the curiosity that people have by constantly portraying the Democrats as like the pedophilic elite. Okay, ironically enough, it was not just the Democrats. Pedophilia, just like defense of Israel, just like constantly increasing the military budget, is a bipartisan thing that our elites do. Okay, but it's crazy to just like only talk about this from the aspect of like, oh, it's just like you know, these guys like overpromised, underdelivered. Like, that's one aspect of this, certainly, but I think what's more important is the fact that, you know, we want to know. I want to know who did the diddling. I want to know who was diddling the kids. I want to know more about like what is actually happening with this like blackmail operation. Why is our intelligence community doing this? What have they gotten out of it? Who were the people who did this these kinds of crimes? Like, I want justice to be served. I want what the hell? It's kind of callous, I think, to showcase this level of indifference to something that is so objectively harmful that virtually every human being can agree is like the worst kind of harm you could do.
Major Garrett is also following this for us. Major, good morning to you. So what did you make of President Trump's response yesterday in that cabinet meeting, and how could this all play out politically for him?
It is unusual for President Trump to try to shut down an issue that has roiled his base for years, and this issue has. Look, human trafficking is a serious issue. It's a bipartisan issue, but the question has been very persistently followed by those most visible on social media and the Trump political movement. So much so that in 2023, an independent movie called Sound of Freedom, produced for $15 million, made $251 million at the box office, fueled by evangelical Trump supporters. That movie is about human trafficking, specifically sex trafficking. And all of this filled a kind of void within the Trump echo chamber about government, corruption, particularly Democratic, possibly corruption, holding all of this information about Jeffrey Epstein back. And the Trump world, meaning the candidate and those around him, promised absolute transparency, absolute clarity on this. And what has happened thus far does not meet the standards of those who thought that they would be getting more from the Trump administration than they got from previous administrations. One thing to point out, though, Tony, any conversation right now about any break within the Trump political movement is sort of beside the point. That movement got its biggest victory a week ago with passage of the big Trump economic bill.
That did not get any fucking major victory with the base. No one in the base thinks it's a good bill. That was also a lie. That was also a lie. That was another lie from Trump being like, I'm not going to touch Medicaid. Like, people don't even realize that in the next 2 years after the midterm elections are done, that they are going to, oh, never mind. I thought someone was knocking on my door. When the midterms are over, these guys are going to realize that they're losing their fucking Medicaid. Okay? They're going to lose their Medicaid. I don't think anyone's going to be happy with that. And those who do know about the bill are not happy about it. Yeah, I said cuts to Medicaid, more unlimited money to Israel, bombing more foreign nations, no new Epstein revelations, classic Trump.
You don't think this release from the Justice Department coming after all that work was done is timed sequentially? Then you're not familiar with how Washington works.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna go to the fucking Statue of Liberty in the M&M store too?
I did meet the Akiway guy in LA at the face party. He was there. I am trying to collab with him. I'm trying to link up and build. Yeah. He's got great stage presence. Yeah. Yeah, so I might do that. You'll be hitting me up to be like, yo, can I get at the Akiway?
Yeah, you're right, actually.
You'll be like, come on.
Actually, I do want access to the Akiway guy.
But before we do that, I wanted to get started on the Epstein files real quick. So as we were talking about earlier, Jeffrey Epstein, innocent. Finally, the truth has come out.
Exonerated.
He was just...
It's a shame himself. He was suffering. Check on your friends, folks.
Yeah.
All right? Check on your depressed friends.
Check on your billionaire friends.
They just let him rot, and it was the guilt of knowing he was going down as an innocent man who never had with children or trafficked
and who had no leverage whatsoever. A guy who just, who had who didn't know anything about anybody. Who was really, when you think about it, perfectly disposable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you know?
Yeah.
What do you know?
I do love the argument that they're presenting now, though, which is that, like, no, you don't understand. He was like a fiend. Like, he loved doing pedophilia just for himself.
Just for him.
And like...
He had a whole island just to... He couldn't put them in his townhouse.
And when he flew people, this is actually a big misconception. He wasn't flying people to chill with them. He was flying them to get them away from him.
Get him away.
Exactly.
So
big misconception.
Like, what's the like?
Well, those were all the heroes that might have stopped his pedophilia.
Yeah,
Trump, Chris Tucker. They would have stopped. They were so stridently anti. But then he needed them on an island so he could have kids in America.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys don't know about that stuff.
He was in Palm Beach and Little St. James.
Yeah.
It was actually perfectly cool. That weird little room or whatever. Remember that with the gold dome or whatever?
Of course.
Actually, just a yoga room.
Just a place.
Just a place to
spiritual
stretch.
guy.
Yeah.
But I do like the argument that they're presenting now, which is that he was the one who was just abusing thousands of victims
with his little egg-shaped penis.
Yeah, and nobody else. Make no mistake. After years and years of being like, there are hard drives, terabytes of footage of all of the blackmail that he had accrued over the years. But also, simultaneously, this implies that, like, you know, former Prime Minister of Israel Ehud Barak in 2016 was just visiting him because he's a chill guy.
He's a cool guy.
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
And he didn't know he was. He's just.
Yeah.
He loves math because, as we all know, Epstein, one of the great mathematicians of our time. And, you know, they were probably just talking about theorems and that kind of
One
stuff.
kid, two kid, three kid. No, I think with part of what I like, I was actually in a Hulu documentary about Victoria's Secret.
Oh, hell yeah.
And my like talk about Epstein's relationship with the guy who owned Victoria's Secret, Les Wexner. And how, like, essentially, like, part of what one of the angles that the documentary took, and that, you know, like, Epstein was the counterparty. Like, he was partners with and had, you know, transacted huge, cumulatively, like, you know, seemingly like in the billions of dollars of transactions, and it's all really murky. But they're with people who are like Leon Black at Apollo, you know, a very powerful person in the world of private equity. Les Wexner, who was the head of these the Limited, which owned Victoria's Secret and other stuff. And it's like, all right. So nobody's like really good at talking about or like understanding like the extent of like what his financial like activities were that like generated these things.
Yeah.
But he was just really good at trafficking kids for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no connection there that he had all this income.
Well, he's probably just a really good day trader. You know, he probably just was smart.
He was like probably early on E-Trade.
He was early on E-Trade.
He taught at Dalton, and he like met really smart bros there. It's like, hey, tips.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence that he trafficked hundreds, if not thousands, of children, and that he, at the same time, through a completely separate way, made millions of dollars.
Yeah, no, that's
if you have like thousands of individual victims that are like children and young adults and whatnot going in and out of your homes, okay, and you also simultaneously are constantly engaging with like some of the elite in society. At some point, they're gonna see the kids.
Right.
Nothing adds up. In this story. And I like the idea that they're just like trying to move away from this now. They're like, don't ask any questions. This is what I wanted to talk about, because yesterday people started getting really frustrated because they have tuned up their audiences to basically really care about this for understandable reasons. I think it's an important story. But now they're basically going, oh, well, we're in power, and also some of our faves are implicated here.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
That's exactly right.
Well, I think ultimately though, it's not gonna. I wish it would matter. It doesn't fucking matter. They don't give a fuck.
I think this might actually cause a little bit of fissure in the Trump base.
I mean, I don't think by itself it does, but I think it does indicate that, like, for example, like, look, like most people who voted for Donald Trump, like, they probably even like Israel or whatever. I don't think that they signed up for, like, endless blood funnel.
Sure.
And, like, the same goes for, like, they didn't sign, you know, like, they were, you know, like, they all fell for it in different ways, but, like, I don't think any of them individually are going to be, like, the thing that breaks the dam in any meaningful way. But, like, over time, like, especially, like, once Trump goes...
Once Trump goes, it's all...
Exactly. Like, it just shows how shallow this is.
Yeah,
that,
that's definitely
none of
true.
this... Like, the most durable thing is, like... it's like this guy's big victories.
Yeah.
You know, on vaccines. Like, it's like
Which
that...
they don't even really give a fuck
and tariffs,
about.
you know, and molest...
Yeah, I mean, I think this clearly was... I mean, you're right, because this is the one thing that kind of kept the... This is the one thing that unites everyone. Because it's like QAnon, it's like anti-establishment, it's like, you know, whatever you want to say, everyone is anti-Semites, a big part of the base. It unites everybody. But I agree with you. It might not be... It's not enough on its own. I just feel like... I don't know, man. We've seen it. Nothing stops this.
It is, but it is like, I think part of like what it breeds, which is like, you know, like Trump and right, and like all those people, like they rose in response to like incredibly cynical times. They themselves, like the cynicism that they then practice, is like having like the same effect on like the people who are like not politically of age yet, but who might otherwise be like raging conservative. Like to me, it's all just like part of like the gradual process of which, like, like morally bankrupt thing, like, you know, burns itself out on evil or whatever it is.
Well,
you know, like, I mean, to be reductive about it.
Felix has an alternative approach. Natalie Wynn, ContraPoint, says, people are really not familiar with the basic facts of the Epstein case. All the victims who testified at Maxwell's trial said they were trafficked to Epstein himself, who abused them with Maxwell's assistance. Okay? And Felix also doubles down, says, yup, Source of his wealth, he won the lottery every day. His extensive contacts in multiple governments, he met them randomly on Omegle. The internal JP Morgan emails, creepypasta.
Okay, so it's also like funny to like single out Ghislaine Maxwell there because like she radiates like a glow rod, like, you know, even more than he does in a lot of ways.
She's like a generational spy. Like she comes from like her father was the OSS. Like it's not like
Wait, she's in jail right now?
Yeah. Also
Yeah.
innocent.
Free her. She's innocent.
Also innocent. Well,
Innocent.
Trump. Remember when she went to jail? Trump.
Well, I
literally was
also remember there
she's a fine lady. I've met her.
People forget about the interim period when, like, before, like, they arrested her or whatever, when she was, like, in some random house
was
in
on
New
the road.
England.
Yeah,
with, like,
yeah.
a younger, like, husband or partner who was some random, like, shipping company executive. It was all very... Life moves too fast sometimes, man.
Yeah.
This was, like, not that long ago, but it really does feel like a lifetime ago.
I know.
It's so bizarre.
And that story in particular, like, this is the thing that made me understand how boomers feel about JFK. Because, like, girl, you know, it's a fun conspiracy as a young person, but, like, I wasn't around for it. It doesn't mean as much to me. Like, it's watching the movies is fun. This is the thing where I'm like, he did himself, man. Like, I'm here. I know how the world works. And I totally... I'm like, yes, I will be talking about this and sounding insane to my children.
And you know, every media outlet is like, no, you don't understand. He was really sad.
Yeah.
Like, no, you don't get it.
Well,
like,
it was the first time in his life he had gone even a couple days without a child.
Yeah.
And you don't know the toll that takes on
I mean, or it's like, look, like, let's say he did himself. Like, I've seen The Godfather. I've seen, like, Robert Duvall talk to Frank Fantangeli and be like... You know, just like the Romans. You do like the Romans, Frank. And it's like,
Hillary Clinton came in
I
a
just
trench
coat. Like to me, it's just like there's no, because it's like also like Epstein. It's like what it gets at to me that's even more important than like contesting the weird ass circumstances in which he died, which is that it's like. There's all this like reported evidence about like him having like when they talk about the Epstein files, that's just like the right wing media people doing like their vague stupid people thing of like mushing together a bunch of real things into like this mythical like singular thing that doesn't exist. But there were a bunch of files in his house when they raided it. There was a bunch of information, a bunch of labeled tapes, things like that people have been reported about, that have been reported on, that have been
paintings.
sworn to. Yeah, some really
awesome
paintings of
Bill Clinton.
George W. Bush with the Bill Clinton is the main one. People forget it. George Bush with the paper airplane. That's a good
also,
one too.
Like he was meeting with like
9/11.
He met with like Bill Burns before he became director of the CIA. I don't know. I feel like there's like a very like I don't think people are wrong. Even though I guess now it feels like passé just because of like how much has happened since then.
But that's the thing. As someone who doesn't follow, I don't give up that much. I don't follow this shit. I just know as a guy alive right now who was just in broad strokes following this shit. It's so clearly a conspiracy, and I will never let go of that shit.
They put him in the federal penitentiary with a roommate.
They tried him. Remember, they tried him like a week before.
Yeah, Nicholas Tartaglio.
who
was like a corrupt cop who like executed a bunch of people, like roided out of his gills.
Yes.
So now we're doubting the integrity of law enforcement.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's where I got to stop you. I back the blue, Hassan.
Yeah.
Well, back Israel and back the blue. My man's doing full Hollywood.
It would be like I do like the idea also of it's like like this guy. He's only like probably the most famous person who's been in like the federal system at the time of like their entry. Like maybe in like
Kismet.
5 years, decades,
Kismet.
Whatever. What if we just got him like a really good friend?
Yeah. No,
it was like a really cool guy.
Total random happenstance that he was in the cell and that he tried himself the first time.
Same shit, by the way, with Whitey Bulger.
Oh, really?
Who was like, it was also in like weird circumstances, and it's it was
wasn't Whitey Bulger
was on the
killed
lam
by like a QAnon guy or something? No, that was a different.
No, there was a mafia boss guy.
Yeah.
A guy on Long Island got by a random QAnon.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Sucks.
I mean, sorry to the mafia.
Sorry to the
but
sorry
prayers
to
up.
We're in the territory. We're in the mafia
we were paying our
territory, right?
respects as well, but there was like kind of a comedy to like somebody being internet like poisoned by the QAnon virus, and was like, you know,
So
I'm gonna
much-
go like Polly's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanna go pee real quick, but also I want to show Donald Trump's new response. This is very not like Donald Trump.
Okay.
And I think you'll notice really quickly
Okay.
when they ask him. Amidst a totally separate meeting, Donald Trump gets asked about Jeffrey Epstein. Here's his response.
And released yesterday in Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the
Yeah, sure. If
Did I just interrupt for 1 second?
Oh, wow.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is... Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind.
It's just like I'm like in my
can't
head, I'm
believe
mentally
you
like
watched
fading in the photo of
Epstein.
the photo of like
Yeah.
him and Melania and him and Ghislaine, like just like whoa.
It's insane. Like him attempting, like, what? That's old news. That's fuck. I kind of respect him being like, let's just get ahead of this. Here's how we're dealing with
You know,
this now.
I will say like he would like that's just
for sure
like hand glove like
Yeah.
this is the most like like
you're stop bringing up old shit. Is
yeah like
literally
leave me
his
alone.
answer.
Look we have all these dead girls like hey like and stop don't ask me about the tariffs, let's talk about the dead girls.
Incredible stuff, dude.
Lifetime TV ass president.
We
Yeah,
have
it
all.
sucks.
What do you say? We have all these taxes and stuff, and you still want. And he called them a creep. Was there more to this bullshit?
A creep.
Some of the greatest success and also tragedy.
Yes.
Right, Texas. Yeah, we're having some of the greatest success and also
Texas.
tragedy.
It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question
he can have the
about
hotel staff
client list,
beaten for
and
not
my
having
response
chairs.
was,
Well, could I sit on one of the hotel staff?
Yeah, okay. You want me to call him up? Say no more.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I love the idea that Donald Trump, of all people, is like, I never talk about irrelevant things. Eyes on the prize, everybody. Lock in. Like, this will have like a leader of a foreign state sit there as he talks about how Joe Biden shit in his diapers.
How good the fish fillet is.
About whatever the is on his mind. But God forbid someone asks about Jeffrey Epstein. He's like, whoa, guys, bridge too far.
It's
okay.
I mean,
also, by the way, like they're talking about it because the Justice Department just released a thing. His government just did a thing.
It's
like
not
I don't.
irrelevant.
What I.
But that's why he's.
It's also. It's like. I mean, it's funny. Is like it can't be denied, and I don't think that he's doing himself any favors.
At the end, he spent 20 minutes talking about the decorations inside the cabinet meeting. Yeah, he literally spends like an insane amount of time talking about the two polls that he put up.
Listen. Can I talk for a minute about this thing I want us to not talk about? Excuse me. Can I do that? Can I just do that as the president of the goddamn United States? Yeah, it's awesome. I love living with like the dumbest people in charge.
Reminder, the question wasn't directed. Interrupting a question directed at someone else with, are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, is perhaps one of the worst eyebrow-raising ways Trump could... I didn't even realize he was asking someone else.
Yeah, they were asking...
Pam Bondi.
sitting on my desk.
Yeah, who also Attorney General of Florida, while Jeffrey Epstein was, very much alive and operating in the state of Florida.
Hell yeah.
As well. Didn't do anything.
And and look who's right between them.
Yeah.
Little Marco.
Client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day.
Who was in the
to him being an agent,
I also like this now. If you're asking
that.
questions, that's because you want child porn released.
Yeah.
You fucking pervs.
It's like, we like
Oh, I'm sorry you're asking me about this child rapist, you pervert,
yeah.
like sicko.
It's like,
yeah, I bet you want to see it. That's what it is. It's like, no, dude.
Is
we
it
wanna
heads
know
of
who did
state doing in the child porn? Like, that's the question.
I mean, the way they're going about this also definitely confirms that it is heads of state.
For sure.
Where they're like, they were. I mean, I jokingly used to say like, well, they worked really hard on it. You know what I mean? Like the intelligence community worked really hard to do this blackmail pedophilia operation. They're not gonna just like leak it for no reason. You know what I mean?
Also, like, look, like if it turns of the people in it are like, you know, maybe the leaders of like a foreign nation currently engaged in a genocide, then like maybe that's not for the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who can say?
Well, I mean, isn't the like one? I mean, people, you know, he worked for the Mossad or whatever, which is so funny if it ended up being, if the people he was working for were like, you know what? I'm just gonna go have a little. I'm just gonna go fuck a couple kids. Even though this is what we used to blackmail other people. I just can't help myself. I'm gonna go over.
Well, I think it is
right there.
It is definitely to me a case of like, you know, like, and it is kind of like a principle in espionage, which is like, prove to me you're not a pussy, like have sex with this child. And it's like he's the kingpin of that. That's why he's thus the most trustworthy, untrustworthy guy of all time.
Yeah.
I think about it, and it's like in my mind, the only guy who's not implicated in this is Netanyahu, because like they just couldn't handle how his vibes were, so they never invited him to the parties.
Also, he's like kind of domed by his wife in a very entertaining way.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So he gets pegged.
So his wife is a flight attendant who like just was like determined, like, I'm gonna marry you, and then we're gonna, and she's like famous for like abusing house staff, like it's a tabloid fixture thing. You know, they're like
That's
crazy
crazy
corrupt.
They're bad. She's a bad person.
Yeah,
shocking.
Family,
but also one of the funniest things that they do is they bring laundry every time to the White House.
Yeah,
Have you heard about this?
What?
It sounds like an anti-Semitic
They
canard.
do laundry at the White House?
They bring their dirty laundry to the White House every time.
What? Is that, what do you mean? Who told you that?
It was in, I think, like a Politico story.
Yeah.
Or it was somewhere. But it was reported. Like, it's
That's
not,
awesome.
it's unfortunately not something that, like, David Duke made up.
Yeah.
I really, like, I'm kind of pissed about that.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, this is from The Guardian. Like, that's how you know this shit is, like, it's not like even New York Post. It's
A
The
lot
Guardian.
of this also, it's like kind of also, it points to something else about these two, which is that, like, they own a lot of property, or even if they don't own it, like, essentially, like, their son, like, their fail son, was just, like, he was in Miami and forever.
Yeah, I mean, Netanyahu is from, like, Philly, the Philly suburbs.
Yeah, like, they spend a lot of time outside of it, of, like, Israel, and are, like...
What's his real name? Did he change his name to Netanyahu? It's like
There's
some regular...
My favorite Netanyahu fact, he likes to dip cigars in Cointreau.
What?
What's Cointreau?
What the fuck?
Like liquor.
Like, are they shitty cigar? Like,
I don't know. I read it. I think it was in that
That's so
detail is
weird.
from BB by Anshel Pfeffer, if I'm not mistaken. From that book is where I got that one.
Interesting.
But like I've like thought about that because like that's insane.
Why? To make his own flavored cigars?
I
to
think
make his own like cigarillos?
No, because he's a Philly boy. He wants black and milds.
Yeah.
But
needs
he's too
Dutch
highbrow.
Masters.
He's too highbrow for the black and milds.
We can't get the technology in Israel. Gazans, they're not no Philly blunts.
That pisses him off. That is gross.
Yeah,
it's gross.
Yeah, not a good guy when you think about it. But there was also there's a lot of internal strife amongst like the conspiracy right though currently about this situation, because this is something that they stake their reputation on, right? Like the idea that it's like only Hillary Clinton was doing pedophilia,
right,
and Bill Clinton, which by the way they definitely were,
Yeah,
allegedly.
Bill was on there.
Yeah.
Trump and Bill were hanging out, having fish fillets on the way.
Yeah. So now there's like a lot of animosity growing against these guys because this is the one thing that they do actually care about. So Alex Jones is on like a total copium trip.
Oh, it's awesome. It's special.
What's he up to?
Yesterday, Alex Jones came out and did one of his like fat guy in the car videos, and he almost cried. He was on the verge of tears, saying that he believes Donald Trump is doing this because he's blackmailing the blackmailers.
He's a white hat.
He now has the blackmail, the pedophilia blackmail, and he's using it against the deep state.
We now
That's
just
what
have Q out in the open. That's all
Yeah.
this is. It's literally just like, all right, so Q used to have like this pretense of like, you know, like there's like this guy leaving messages on 4chan or whatever. Now, like, you can just have it under your own name and be like, oh yeah, Donald Trump is white hatting it now, and that's like part of the party line. Like that's like within a standard deviation of like what like the Republican like party itself is saying.
Oh my God. Okay, so Gunther Eagleman.
Who's that?
He's like one of these like right wing Twitter guys.
Is he a Nazi? It's a
Eagleman.
I
Nazi
guess
name.
I'm blocked by him.
Oh, he looks.
This guy.
Is he Jewish? He looks Jew. Is he from New
his
York?
Name is his name is Gunther. His name is Gunther Eagleman. Okay. But in any case, he says, I would have never thought our government would just allow people to rape children on Epstein's Island and just let it slide. It's not okay. To which immediately the blue check marks are like, are you really going to let Epstein be the deal breaker for Trump for you?
Well,
then why do you hate Hillary Clinton?
Yeah.
Why do you hate Bill Clinton?
There was a tweet going around I saw that was like one guy like was going on and like he had like, you know, he wrote a whole as blue checks do, and at the end of it he was like, just move on.
Yeah, he was like,
Move on.
He was
Move
saying,
on is so good.
He was saying like, we all know he's a little bit of a pedophile.
Look, yeah, it's okay. Look, it's not perfect that he's a bit.
He's perfect.
That tweet was so good.
And then Vincent, so just how would you prosecute if the evidence was destroyed by raising DC? And then the funniest response, oh no, it's not a response, it's Elon Musk. Never mind.
It's an ad.
The Elon Musk doing an ad for his own tweet on his own website. They arrested and killed Peanut, but have not even tried to file charges against anyone on the Epstein client list. Government is deeply broken. He thought this was a banger that he made an ad out of it.
I hate him so much, dude.
Who the fuck is Peanut?
There was a one.
I hate him.
He was some
Peanut?
OnlyFans guy who had a squirrel that like animal services like
right before the election, and it was like a right wing meme about how like like libs are gonna kill your if you have like a squirrel.
I do remember that.
Which, by the way, is like crazy now that like this is like the discourse, like, you know, again as like the was it like ICE guys? Who were the people in LA today? Yesterday in the park.
The military. There was I think
the National Guard.
The National Guard. Yeah, they were doing a show of force.
So he's literally just like re-microwaving shitty memes from before the